Jovi, and welcome to a très fashionable episode of another formidable famous interviews. A show where I summon lately living legends for a sit-down and a chinwag, and a naughty bit of nosing about their lauded lives. Did I say lauded? Lauded, I meant lauded. Lauded lives. Perhaps a Freudian slip of the tongue. For today's guest was quite the mistress of all things tongued and swallowed. What's that, Egbert? Well, of course your mucky mind would go there where angels fear to spread. No. Our guest du jour was a crackerjack culinarian, a cordon beautiful, a connoisseur de cuisine, butterpuff, vichyssoise virtuoso, dapple Dion, fricassee fric, gratin gourou, coco bon vivant, and most of all, an all-around great gal. Well, by now I'm sure it's so obvious to whom I refer that announcing her name would be redundant and repetitive, unnecessary, unneeded, superfluous, pointless, and meaningless. N'est-ce pas? Vraiment? Is it not? Am I right? Now, as we all know, she was a towering figure in so many ways. A one-time athlete, a spy, a student, an author, but most notably and infamously, a television phenomenon. Or should I say, phenomenon. For it was on the telly that she exposed her talent for all to see. At the climax, she had everyone drooling. Not a word, Egbert. She awakened a hunger for something we weren't even conscious we craved, but once discovered, we could never get enough of it. Or her. And no matter how much she gave, we wanted more. We could never get our fill. But now, I've had me fill of standing in these shoes, so it's time for a sitty down and a sippy poo. Sitting brings such a wonderful feeling of relief to me feet. A sort of toegasm, without the heavy huff and puff. No wands or batteries required. Now, let us attempt to contact our celestial guestial. Concentrate with me, darlings. Focus all of your attention onto that spot, that crack, that exists somewhere deep inside each of us, connecting to a very special place. Enter into it with me. Let our cracks open and usher us into a world beyond. I light this fire, a tiny bonfire, a beacon to squire. Oh, gourmet goddess, we've opened our cracks and wish that you would tunnel through. So come and share a dish and spill the tea for two. Commune with us, gastronomist, commune with us. Sauté amongst us, soufflé amongst us. Now rise quickly, darling, before me crack closes up. Wham! Who can this be appearing here on my very little own program? Well, I'm Julia Child, believe it or not, but I have no idea who you are or where I am. I am Lady Mary Pozah, and you are here on my little chat show. Well, I've heard about the cuts, so I hope you haven't dug me up for another PBS series. No, darling, we're here at famous interviews aren't publicly funded. We have our own endowment. In fact, we're very well endowed. Please, dear, citez-vous. I'll just put this back here. If they can't see it, they won't know it's there. You know, I never realized just how tall you were. I'm the shortest of my siblings. My brother was 6'4" and my sister 6'5". 6'5"? Goodness. Clan of giants. Whatever were you raised, Jurassic Park? No, in sunny California. I'm a Californian and still have that feeling in my bones. A large, bustly feeling, no doubt. Now, not to sound trifling, but given your height, did you ever play basketball? Well, I did for a while. When I was in grade school, I was jumping center, and no one could beat me. And then I played on the team, and when I got to college, and then they changed the rules, and my function was over. Well, I'd say your true function was yet to be discovered. Now, even though you say you're a Californian, one essentially associates you more with the baked bean bunch than the Cobb salad set. How did all that come about? Well, I came east to go to Smith College. Must have been a short walk on those long legs. Ha! I didn't walk at all. I rode a train cross country. And then, of course, my husband was from Boston, so that's where we settled. Fair enough. Now, darling, it has always astounded me that after college and before you were a famous chef and TV star, you were a Jane Bond. That's true. I think it's hard for young people, and perhaps even people like you whose sands are running low, to realize that in World War II, everybody believed in our country and everyone wanted to help. We thought we were saving the world. And how'd that work out? I think you'd have to admit the world's in rather a scramble these days, and you can't cover that mess with a sprinkling of parsley. Well, I had a fascinating war. I was started out in the Office of Strategic Services in Washington. That's the OSS, precursor to the CIA. And then they were sending some people over to the Far East. So I volunteered and they sent me to Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, and then to China. That's where I met my husband, Paul. Your husband? Yes, I just said that. In China? No, in Ceylon. Is he Chinese then? Who? Your husband, Paul. He's a red-blooded American. Don't be silly. Well, I could try. So how was the food in China? That Chinese food was so good. I loved that. Did you get to meet General Tso? General who? You know, the one from Column A, or was it Column B? Never mind. Did you learn to cook Chinese food? No, I ate it. I ate it with great gusto. So when did you begin cooking? Well, I was 32 when I started cooking. Up until then, I just ate. I used to enjoy cooking with wine. Sometimes I even put it in the food, like coq au vin. Coq et vin, two of my favorites. The more I drink, the more chicken I am to cook. But seriously, I'm an absolute coward in the kitchen. I could never create the fabulous fancy concoctions you did. Cooking well doesn't mean cooking fancy. The only real stumbling block is fear of failure. In cooking, you've got to have a what the hell attitude. Well, then I should have a Michelin star. No one's more what the hell in the kitchen than me. Or I. So tell me, how is it you championed a cuisine that defies all dietary precaution, tramples all red flag restrictions, ignores all currently recommended health guidelines, unless you're getting them from RFK? To wit, Exhibit A, the B word. What's the B word? Butter. Butter! Don't be afraid of butter. With enough butter, anything is good. With enough butter, we'll all end up in a coma. Or worse, fat. Well, if you're afraid of butter, which many people are these days, just put in cream. Oh, Julia, naughty, naughty, naughty. What about good nutrition? We don't care about good nutrition. We care about taste. How is it the French seem to eat everything we would call wrong, yet they're not fat? But when you go to a restaurant nowadays, you get these enormous servings, enough for 3 people. I can only eat a third of it. That's ridiculous. That would account for all these big, fat people we have over here, and the drug companies swooping in with great money-making weight loss products. But you go over to France and you don't see big, fat people. They hide them. They exercise and they don't eat between meals. They've won the battle of the bulge. Ah, yes, waistline warfare. I try to avoid those lonesome late-night snack attacks, friggin' fridge raids, calorie-consuming capers. I suppose I could run to the fridge, preemptively burn some of those calories. What do you think of all the fad diets? Well, I think if you follow the precepts of moderation, a little bit of everything, you don't need a diet. Have it all! But in moderation. You seem to be in pretty good shape. You must follow the right way of doing things. Unless underneath that outfit you're all trussed up like a Thanksgiving turkey. It's all smoke and mirrors, believe me. Underneath this gown I'm tied tighter than Scrooge's purse, snugger than Tom Daly's Speedo, more constricted than a boa's embrace, stiffer than a... Well, I digest. So where in the world would you say has the best restaurants? Oh, no contest. Paris, France. It's just wonderful. Well, quelle surprise. Pourquoi Paris, dearie? Well, they take food so seriously. It's really an art form. I try to be an artist in the kitchen, but it always ends up more like finger painting. Julia, chérie, could you perhaps show me how to create something simple that even I'd be able to prepare moi-même, that doesn't require too much travail or effort or skill, especially skill. Our time, we're on the clock, darling, but would still be très impressivo. Oh, how about a hard-boiled egg? Oh, I have just the thing for you. It's so simple any idiot could make it. No-knead bread. It has only 3 ingredients. I could juggle 3. In fact, I did just last night. Well, it's flour, yeast, and salt, plus water. And it requires no special equipment, just a bowl, a fork, and a Dutch oven. A piece of parchment paper would come in handy, but it's not necessary. Egbert, be a dear and arrange the setup, s'il vous plaît. How much flour exactly? 3 cups of bread flour, 1½ teaspoons of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of dry yeast. Yeast! Just hearing the word makes me itchy all over. Or should I say all under? So, what about the water? How much? Well, about 1 2/3 cups, depending on how dry it is. Now listen here, it's as moist as the next one. The next what? I'm talking about the flour. The flour? Oh, yes, of course, the flour, Egbert. She was talking about the flour. How silly of you to have misunderstood. What's that? Oh, Egbert is signaling he's got it up. Shall we give it a gander? Mais bien sûr. Allons, à la cuisine. So, what do we do first? Well, first you want to measure the flour. Oh dear, I don't want to cover myself in flour dust. I mean, I don't mind a little sprinkling of fairy dust now and then, but well, this is so manky. Be fearless, and above all, have fun. I think I'd have more fun if you do the honors. S'il vous plaît. All right. Dip it in, scrape it off, and poof! Dip it in, scrape it off, and poof! What's the matter? Oh, nothing. Nothing. Well, you see, I could never be so sloppy. Slapdash. Cavalier. Cavalier is what I meant. I'm afraid I'll never be a good cook. I'm not very cunning in the kitchen. Though I've been called cunning elsewhere. Or something quite like it. Anyone can cook. You don't have to cook complicated masterpieces, just good food from fresh ingredients. All right, what the hell. But would you mind finishing the flour bit? I'll watch from a very safe distance. All right, tip it in, scrape it off, and poof! Now you want to measure the yeast. The yeast. Think you can handle that? Oh, yes, of course. How much was it exactly? 1/4 teaspoon. And don't worry about getting it exact. Bread is very forgiving. Well, with me behind the penny, there's a lot to forgive. There. Did I do that right? And now the salt. Exactly 1½ teaspoons. Salt. The doctor says I should avoid salt. A little bit won't hurt, just like butter. Moderation. Yes, moderation. As in moderately high blood pressure or a moderate myocardial infarction. Nonsense. Now you want to add the perfectly tepid water. The water. There it is. Well, it's just sitting there. Well, that's what the fork is for. Plunge it in and stir it around. I've always enjoyed a good plunge. But really, it's so messy. Would you mind terribly doing the plunging for me? I don't want to thrust it in up to me elbow and soil these lovely gloves or dislodge one of me priceless jewels in the dough. Well, take them off and devastate this carefully concocted couture. Such a killer. Dress au musée, I'm sure. So the little red hen will have to do it herself. You do this with a stand mixer, but I think it's better to get your muscular exercise. Put on the clock, darling. There you go. It's almost done. See? First it's shaggy and then it's a whole dough. And voila! Doesn't look a loaf to me. Though a little like this morning's. Well, now it's got to sit for anywhere from 12 to 18 hours so the yeast can digest and the dough can rise. The yeast digests, but what makes the dough rise? Little yeast toots? Well, I wouldn't put it quite like that, but in a way, yes. Yet with a more pleasant smell. Hopefully. Thank heavens for that. No, thank chemistry. Yeast produces carbon dioxide and ethanol as a byproduct of fermentation, not methane. Fermentation. Like wine. But we haven't 12 hours, darling. We're only a half-hour program. That's all right. I have a risen dough right here. You TV people. Sprinkle it with a little seeds I brought along. A mixture of sesame, poppy, and flax, plus some sea salt. And then we'll give it a slash with a knife and plop it into the Dutch oven, which has been preheated for exactly 13 minutes at 450 degrees. Watch out, you'll burn yourself. There's nothing left of me that burns. And now we'll put it in the oven for 20 minutes, and then we'll take it out of the Dutch oven and finish it off on a baking stone. But, darling, you're forgetting something. Again, dear, we're running out of time. We shall have to imagine the final product, I'm afraid. And here it is. No-knead bread. Well, it's beautiful. And it was so simple. I knew I could do it. Now let it rest for at least an hour before you have at it. And when you do, smear a big dollop of butter on it. Oh, Julia, is there anything you loved more than butter? No, I even wrote a sonnet in its praise. Would you like to hear it? Please, oui, of course, darling. S'il vous plaît, vraiment. All right, get me glasses. Butter, my butter, oh, what would I do with frogs' legs or omelets or tasty grilled cheese? So's the sweet flavour and bubbling of you, dribbled on lobster or dripped over peas. Butter's the thing you just can't cook without. Keep it on tap and ignore its bad rap. Make your palms Anna and Amandine Trout, and damn the naysayers and all their clap-trap. Cordon Bleu says butter's still de rigueur. Fry up your doughs in a buttery soak. Fold it in croissants or cream with sugar. How could such elegance lead to a stroke? Butter by the cup, butter by the yard. Take it from me, even better than lard. Wonderful, darling, that was wonderful. And that's a bit of poetry for you. And now I think I better split, put back me wings, and finish preparing a treat for a fete with my heavenly comrades. Well, what are you making? Angel food cake. I think a fete without cake is, well, really just a meeting. So that's all for today. This was Julia Child. Bon appetit! I'm dying to know what our angel food cake tastes like. Though dying is the only way to find out. I'll skip that bit. Not today, Angel. How exciting. The legend herself gave a lesson in cooking. Not enormously enlightening about French cuisine from the French chef, was it? I mean, a little bit of bread, grand chose. She came with a smile and left us a loaf. Not even a baguette. How do you say baguette in French, I wonder? You'd think she could have chosen something more tasty, at least. Perhaps with butter in it, as she still seems quite in love with that infamous clogger. Quel fromage? It doesn't really matter what she cooked, does it? Just sharing a moment hors d'oeuvre with her, well, it's a feast in itself. It fills one up, n'est-ce pas? I know I'm full of it. So that's all for today, darlings. I do hope you enjoyed our little cookout as much as I, and will join me next time for a gab from the grave. And don't forget to like this episode and to subscribe to my channel. It's haute divertissement. So until then, I shall remain the very yeast-free Lady Mary Pozah. And this has been Famous Interviews.